Thank you all so much for joining the Higher Education First Friday chat of the school year. My name is Rebecca Ronstadt-Contreras, and I'm really excited to have a couple of presenters, Erin Studebaker and Enas-Sydney, who are going to talk to us about the community housing projects and survey that are happening between now and, I believe, October, correct? You'll talk a little bit about the survey. And then we have Miss Angela Willeford, who's going to talk to us about the voting initiatives and voter registration initiatives that are happening within the community. Again, just so everyone is aware, we are recording this session. I apologize for any technical difficulties that may have happened the first 12 minutes of this recording, but this recording will be available for later viewing. And before I think yep, everyone is good. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Normalinda. Thank you so much.
Hi, everybody. My name is Normalinda Enas-Sydney. I am a project manager here at CDD, and we have a couple of housing projects. I'm here partnering with my teammate, Erin Studebaker, and I am a recent graduate of ASU in the School of Sustainability. I got my master's in sustainability leadership in hopes that I could make a deep impact in the housing need within the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community. I'm so thankful that you have these Friday chats because when I was going to school, I would attend them and I got important information. And so we're here today to seek feedback and comments and also collect us information in a digital survey. And as a past student who used census data, community related data to complete my capstone, you're only as good as the data that's provided. So we're here seeking your input on housing initiatives that could or could not happen pending your comments. Council is seeking this data from the community members and we're here to collect. So please, 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 if you have any time or if you would like to pass this on to any family members or friends who are 16 and over, please your project's research is only as good as the data that is collected. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Erin Studebaker, who's going to give you a presentation on the housing initiatives here at Salt River.
Thanks, Normalinda, for that introduction. Thank you, Rebecca, for the opportunity to be here today. It is great to be introduced to this group and have the ability to talk about some projects that are currently being worked on within the community. I'm going to share my screen now, hopefully without technical difficulties, to be able to show a brief presentation today. As Normalinda mentioned, we have many different housing developments going on as we currently speak. But in particular, there is one development being explored, and that is a proposal that is in front of council right now for a multifamily and apartment complex project that has some unique elements different than other residential projects that have been to the community in the past. So council has directed staff, Normalinda, myself, and a bunch of other individuals to get out and about, to do, district meetings, to talk to groups like this, to direct them to an online-based survey, which gives everybody the ability to provide comments, good, bad, or indifferent, about this proposal to determine if it's something that fits within the needs of the community. I mentioned that we're working on a lot of different developments in housing. This visual that you see here is what we call our housing continuum, that shows that there's many different housing opportunities and housing needs for different individuals within the community. The development we're talking about right now, the multifamily project, is one that falls within a category that we call community market rental. This is rental rates that would be available within the community that we are looking to be lower than comparable rental products outside of the community boundaries. You'll see here with the different triangular tops to these shapes that we have projects that currently exist. We have some that are in progress. which means under construction or in evaluation, such as this one. And we also have opportunities that were shown in a previous survey that was conducted that said there is a need, but we need to bring that to the community to fill that need. So we are working on additional opportunities. So very high level, council is requesting feedback on a proposal for a multifamily project. Feedback can be given by any community member ages 16 and older. The reason we are going as low as 16 is because even if this project happened, it wouldn't break ground until potentially next summer. It wouldn't be open for another 2 years or so of construction after that. So we know there's a lot of individuals that may not need the housing today, but may need it in the future. This development is being proposed by an experienced outside developer. So this is a company that is based, a couple individuals in New Orleans, a couple individuals in Texas that have a long resume and experience of developing apartment complexes and other mixed-use developments. They would own and operate the property through a master lease, which all development is done on the community. And that company would be responsible for collecting rents, but also responsible for all expenses, including maintenance and operational costs for the project. This would be a 160 unit development mixed between 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units. They would be 2-story buildings spread out within 8 buildings and have many great amenities like basketball courts, barbecue areas, covered parking, splash pad, and more. This photo gives you a location marker. It is being proposed next to Scottsdale Community College, just off of Chaparral in the 101, west of Dobson. The breakdown between the 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms would be 76 1-bedrooms, 76 2-bedrooms, and 8 3-bedrooms. We would have a significant number of fully ADA compliant units, as well as we would have many more ADA friendly units to add items such as grab bars and have other ADA compatible elements to be added as needed. It shows here that there are 2 quads of 4 buildings each with large spacious areas in between. This next visual gives you a nice representation of what is being proposed with that kind of spacious layout, while also kind of offering many amenities throughout. To give a comparison, if a 160 unit property were to be developed, off community boundaries, it would probably be taller than 2 stories. It would probably be closer to about 6 acres. This development is being proposed on 15 acres to give plenty of space, plenty of parking, plenty of amenities to give everyone a kind of an enjoyable living experience. These show some renderings of what the project potentially could look like. This developer, to understand the community's design processes and requirements, has gone through an initial design review just to be able to get feedback and incorporate different pottery and basket designs and other community required designs to their proposal. So as you can see here, visually it is a very attractive building and incorporates great community required design elements. This slide just gives an aerial of what one of the buildings could look like with a breakdown of the 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units. They are, spacious units that provides access directly from the parking lot, so very easy access into the buildings and into the units, while also trying to provide, as much privacy as possible where you don't see, all of the doors opening up to other apartments. For example, on the kind of the right and left entrances, having those kind of semi-private access. So that is a very kind of high level rundown of this development. We have an online survey that can be found on the website srpmic-nsn.gov /housing survey, or can be found by clicking the QR code that you see on the bottom right of this document. The survey opened in July and will close on October 9th. And again, is for any enrolled community member ages 16 and over. On this survey, you'll be able to provide comments in regards to the project as a whole. We also share what the proposed rental rates are and allow for individuals to comment whether those are too high, too low, just right. And if they are not just right, kind of give recommendations of where those rental rates may fit within the need of that specific individual filling out that survey. Along with that, on this flyer, you will see some contact information on general housing and future housing. If you ever have any questions whatsoever, you can feel free to reach out to that phone number and email address below. It rings at multiple people's desks, and also multiple people respond to the email, so you should get a response relatively quickly. So again, appreciate the opportunity to present this today. We look forward to seeing your feedback, because council will absolutely utilize the feedback provided to help them make the decision on whether this development will actually take place or not. So again, thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Aaron. That was wonderful. That was great information. I appreciate you taking the time to present that to us. Does anyone on the call now have any questions? And if not, that's okay. I just wanted to give Aaron an opportunity to answer if there were any. Okay, so just for those of you who are watching this after First Friday Chats, so sometime this afternoon maybe, or maybe next week into the future, feel free to connect with Aaron, and I'll be sure to share this information at our October First Friday Chat, just because the survey closes on October 9th, you said?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, perfect. So we still have one more opportunity to share this information with anyone who is watching. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Okay, Angela Willeford, also a higher education participant. Are you there?
Good morning. Yes, I am.
Perfect. Okay, so we're going to turn it over to you, and you are going to talk to us about the community's voter registration initiative, correct?
Correct. I'm going to highlight our civic engagement and the importance of voting in the community. So good morning, Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community, family, and friends. My name is Angela Willeford. Anyapchogik Angela Willeford. I'm Otham Pipash Seminole and Creek from the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community. I am actually alumni of higher education's program, and so I got my master's in legal studies at the Sandra Day O'Connor School of Law. So I'm excited to be here at Higher Education's First Friday Chats to talk about the importance of civic engagements and civic engagements and the importance of voting. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's see if it works. You know, we've had some technical difficulties. Still, after 2 years, it's still. Share this. Share the sound. It's not letting me include the sound. Oh no. It's my turn, Becca.
Yep, oh, is it not working?
Yeah, let's see. Wait, stop share. So I want to share it, but I need to share my sound. And
you're going to share it, include computer sound. Okay. There you go.
Can you see the presentation?
Yes, we can.
Taskbar, display settings. All right, I'm just gonna, I know you're gonna see 2 screens, but I'm gonna talk, so I'll just kind of pivot. So again, we're talking about the importance of civic engagements and voting. So what is civic engagement? Civic engagement is giving back and being a part of the community. Voting is being a part of the community. So why is voting important? So voting is very important for the community, and it's important for democracy. By voting, citizens are participating in the democratic process. So whether it's for your school as a school president, or it's for tribal council, so you're electing a president or a vice president or council, or if you're with the state, you're electing individuals that are representing you on the state and federal level. So you should want representatives that represent you. So did you know that tribes typically in the past were unable to vote? So again, it's important not only because we weren't able to vote, but we also want to make sure we're electing individuals that are representing your needs and your wants. In addition, tribes can leverage working as a voting bloc, and I'll get more into that in my later presentation. So bear with me, I'm going to transition to a video. I hope it works, and let's see if you'll learn about the history of voting. Voting is an essential right of all Americans over the age of 18. Historically, Native Americans did not have that right. Native Americans' right to vote was only achieved by congressional action, individual persistence, and years of litigation. This is our story and the voices of our community to get out the vote. In the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community of the O'odham and Peeposh people, we know that voting is important, as it can possibly change political landscapes at any given election. Today, we are excited to accept the challenge of mobilizing our community to register to vote, be educated on the issues, and get out the vote on election days. Every few years, we elect key individuals to fill vital positions that deal with key issues in Indian country, such as the President of the United States, Senators of Arizona, House Representatives, and state legislators. Today's opportunity came only after years of struggle for the right to vote. The battle began in 1924, where Native American people became the last people of our country to become citizens. In Arizona, although Native people were now citizens, they were still kept from exercising their right to vote for many reasons. Because they lived on reservations, were guardians of the federal government, language barriers, literacy requirements, intentionally closed polling locations. These actions continued to suppress the Native vote for many years.
I think years ago, the Indians really didn't have a right to vote, and they should have, because many things that happened, they weren't allowed to be able to express their vote on issues. You couldn't vote until you were 21, and then you really couldn't vote until the two gentlemen from Fort McDowell fought for the Native Americans.
In 1948, Frank Harrison and Harry Austin from the Fort McDowell community fought the Arizona Supreme Court for their constitutional rights. Harrison, a World War II veteran, could fight for his country but was denied the right to vote. In a great victory, the Supreme Court unanimously overruled previous opinions and recognized Indians the right to vote. This was a great victory, but yet there have been many battles to permit to equal access to the voting booth.
They didn't want us to vote. They felt we weren't, important enough or smart enough to vote, so they didn't, consider us.
And the battle continues. For our community, the more people register to vote, the louder our voice will be on election day. With a loud voice, we can affect greater change. We are a community of over 10,000 members, and many are of voting age. We didn't vote until 1970. This year, we're going out to the community and to educate people on the importance of voting, getting people registered to vote, and most importantly, getting people to show up on election days. Did a good job registering. We are spreading the word and urging community members to exercise their civic responsibility.
We need you to vote.
My ancestors could not vote, but I can.
I know my ancestors couldn't vote, but I'm glad I can.
My ancestors couldn't vote, but I can.
My ancestors could not vote, but I can.
Our ancestors could not vote, but we can.
So that is a short snippet, and every time I see that video, I still get choked up in thinking about how it wasn't until 1970 that every Arizona native was able to register to vote. And this is one of the reasons why council has made it a mission and an objective and made voting important for community members. And so that's why we have an ad hoc, a Get Out the Vote ad hoc committee, and we're going to enterprises and any kind of community member events, higher education's First Friday. So we need individuals to make sure that they show up at the polls on election day. But one of the things I think I'm going to share is some past election data. And you may wonder, why am I sharing it with you? Because I want you all to understand the importance of the native vote. So in 2018, Kirsten Sinema, who's our current senator, won by a 2.4% margin. The governor Ducey won by 14.8 margin. Joe Biden won by a 3% margin, and Arizona natives account for by a 4% margin. So if we show up at the polls on election day, we have the ability to persuade a race, such as the 2020 election with the Biden administration. So I know Normalinda was talking about census, and census and voting go hand in hand, and this is how it does. So we are now in a new congressional district. So I'm going to kind of backtrack a little bit, talk about census quickly. So every 10 years, census is completed after that, we do redistricting. So redistricting is census compiles all of the population of the state, every state. So in state of Arizona, we have 9 congressional districts and 30 legislative districts. In 2020, they had a redistricting process. The redistricting process is comprised of the Arizona Independent Redistricting Commission, which is comprised of 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans, and 1 independent. They have to make sure every district has the same amount of residents within each district. So they have to break up Arizona residents into 9 districts and to 30 districts. The community did have some principles, which we wanted to make sure congressionally we were in the city of Scottsdale's district, and we are now in Congressional District 1. We were previously in Congressional District 6, which is under David Schweikert. Moving forward, we are, again, I'm going to remind that again, we are in District 1. This is a highly competitive district, and this goes back to that data I was telling you all about. So what that means is this is a competitive district. So in the past, when the commission did the analysis, they did, okay, so who's one, if those people, those individuals that are placed in that population, how do they typically vote? And there's a 2.5% margin of Democrat and Republican. So it could be persuaded by 2.5%. In Salt River, we are 2% of that margin. So if we all show up, we can determine the District 1 race. Legislative District, we are now in Legislative District 8. That is represented by Athena Salmon, Juan Mendez, and Melody Hernandez, who will actually be at council next week introducing herself and kind of giving a legislative update. Again, going forward, we're going to be in Legislative District 8. That population in Legislative District 8 is a 5% Native American population. So going forward, so what's gonna be on the ballot this year, November? I need everyone to understand is that the midterm election, I feel like I'm in the dark room. I'm not even looking at myself. The midterm election is gonna be for the governor and the U.S. senator. So we need you to understand the important role of the governor. So the governor is in charge of policy development, legal counsel, legislative relations, communication, appointments, scheduling, intergovernmental relations, which means government to government relationships with tribes, emergency management. For instance, let's think about what happened during COVID. What was the governor's role? Homeland security and administrative support. So this role of the governor and electing a governor that represents you, the community, your values, the community's values is extremely important. So that is one reason why we have a Get Out the Vote ad hoc committee. We're launching some great initiatives next week. We'll be with the seniors first. We're going to let them know about our campaign, and then additionally, we'll launch it out with everybody. We need all hands on deck, making sure everybody is mindful and aware of our initiative to increase voter participation for the 2022 gubernatorial midterm election. Here's some other important races that we have the Secretary of State who's in charge of the elections, the Attorney General that has to go oversee, and I'm going to kind of talk about not talk about it, but I'm going to highlight what they do with tribal communities. So the Attorney General works with the gaming, State Treasurer is funding, superintendent taxes, Superintendent of Public Instruction is with our schools, State Senator and House Representative, members of Congress, U.S. Senator, those are all close representatives that our office, the Office of Congressional and Legislative Affairs, works closely with our executive and our executive team and council. So moving forward, here's some important dates. So we know if you're watching and you're not registered to vote, the deadline is October 11th. So if you just turned 18, if you're 18 to 21, I know I'm going to highly predict you're not registered. So this is what I need you to do. I need you to go to beballotready.vote and register. It takes 2 minutes. As long as you have your ID ready and you're ready to go, you enter all your information. It's like as fast as a post. You take longer doing a TikTok. So make sure you register to vote. Finally, have one more ask. So this is going to be part of our campaign. We're going to be going door to door on September 17th, registering individuals to vote. But if you can scan this QR code and like and share the Office of Congressional and Legislative Affairs Facebook, you can get entered into win a $50 gas card. We have a few other projects that we're going to be launching. I'm excited. I can't wait to tell you. But I thank you. I know that was a lot and I kind of went everywhere, but our objective, our mission is to make sure we're getting everyone in the community or represent anybody. We need everybody to get out and vote. Rise up Salt River because we can vote. So thank you, Becca, and thank you everyone on. If you have any questions, definitely I'm here.
Thank you, Angela. That was really good information. Does anyone have any questions for Angela? Anyone have any questions? Okay. Well, yeah, great job. Thank you. Thank you both. Thank you all so much. Yep. So higher ed is part of this committee, the Get Out the Vote committee. And so we are assisting with door-to-door voter registration. We're staffing events. We're assisting on different fronts. And so I'm glad to have Angela and Normalinda and Aaron here to talk with us about all of these really important initiatives happening within the community. So I think if no one has any questions, that's it. We covered this in half an hour and I had technical difficulties. So this is fantastic. If you are watching this and this is, or if you're watching a recording, if we went too fast, the beauty of the recording is that you can rewind it and listen to it again. We'll also have some accompanying notes so that you know where to sort of fast forward or click on a certain minute, and that's where you will get information about registration, where to go to vote, where to find the QR code for both the community housing survey and our SKOVOTEDEN campaign within the community. And we hope that you can join us. We will be live every first Friday of the month as part of our First Friday chat series with the higher education program. We do this from September through June, and we have a lot of really great speakers lined up. Next month in October, the First Friday chat will highlight the community's internship program that is out of the Community Employment Office. And so Crystal Benuelos will be here to talk to us about that. And then hopefully we'll get Normalinda to come back and talk a little bit about her path and her passion and her degree and how that has prepared her for her career that she has now. Thank you all so much for joining us. I apologize once more for my technical difficulties, and I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful Friday and 3-day weekend.